Don't get comics. Always comics, all the time.
Hello and welcome back into part 2.
Part 2?
Part 2.
Oh, God.
We had it to be continued.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Okay.
So, last episode we talked about fixing DC.
Yeah.
This episode we're going to be talking about fixing Marvel. So, my name is Jordan Lowe.
I'm KJ. And honestly, I want to just go ahead and say DC, to me, has done... I was against the whole relaunch, the reboot. I'm against reboots constantly anyway, because it's commonplace now and it sucks. But I really enjoyed the New 52 relaunch. That being said, when they did the Continuum, I think it was the story arc.
Continuity. Convergence.
Convergence. Oh my lord, there's just so many. And when they did Convergence, and they started doing this stuff like, as he made a joke about earlier with the gym and the holograms with Black Canary, I hated that. I really did. I mean, I was not a fan. Black Canary should just be like hanging out with Ollie, kicking everybody's butt. That's all she should be really doing, because she's awesome. And I don't want her to see her up on stage singing and stuff. I want her up there kicking people's butts. Okay, now that being said, I think of both of the companies, DC is the one that needs the least work.
Well, they stole a little bit of our thunder. If you're just tuning in, if you missed last episode, we said this was because of the constant reboots and the retinkerings. Yeah. We said, here's what we would do. Here's the books we would publish, the kinds of stories we would tell if we were in charge. Yeah. And it really got us kicking on this because all the rumors were flying that DC might be rebooting this summer. And we're like, well, if they do, what should they do? And we had long conversations about it and had fun coming up with some ideas. But in the meantime, they've released all the books that are coming out. So
there's only like 32 of them, too, or something.
It's awesome. Some of the things we said they should do. They've cut the number down. They've actually cut the price down, which was shocking.
And some of them, they said they added pages. It's going to be like bigger size formats and everything.
So DC may not need as much fixing as we thought they would a couple of weeks ago. But, so we didn't change our ideas any after we read. I said I liked what I heard.
Yeah,
Jeff Johns did that whole video. They did a whole interview. They seem to be getting the point of what they need to be doing. They're on the right track.
Oh yeah. So now we have to focus on Marvel, who seems to be constantly saying, well, we know you want this, but we're going to give you this, and we're going to raise the price and reduce the page count. Enjoy.
So, if we were the CEOs, if we were Brian Bendis' boss, if we were in the penthouse suite, if we were there, how would we fix the Marvel Universe?
I would hire Warren Ellis to write everything.
And Zatanna can't be in it.
Oh, damn it. Okay, Storm will be a member of everything. No. Okay.
So you and I, we're definitely Marvel zombies. We both grew up Marvel fans.
Yes. Although I will admit, over the last couple of years, DC has taken my heart.
So DC is winning you over?
Yeah.
Is it because DC's doing so well, or is it because you're mad of what's going on in Marvel?
Both. Marvel just continues to kick me in the groin, and DC continues to give me bags of ice to put on it. So I start to lean towards DC. I mean,
it's good cop, bad cop. They're like, Marvel slams your head in the table, and DC's like, they're there, we'll make it better.
Exactly. I mean, don't get me wrong. I have always been a Marvel zombie, Marvel fan, Marvel crazy person, because I love the X-Men was what got me into it. But as of lately, in the past like 10 years, it's spiraled, and I think we need to need an actual regroup, not so much a reboot as a regroup, and fix it. So much like with the DC, we're going to do 20 to 25 of the primary comics, and we're going to do 5 of the Max, and we want to see if we can't put this thing on the tracks.
And we're going to try to have books that sell, but we're going to try to have books that are cool, books that are diverse, books that have young characters, old characters, different genres. We're going to try to have a nice mixture of things that would attract the biggest possible audience.
Yeah.
Because the movies do. The movies make billions of dollars.
Yeah.
But the comics aren't selling. You think as well as the movies are doing, the comics should be doing better. And it doesn't seem to be going that way.
A big problem, I think, is just the fact that there's so many years of continuity. And let's face facts. I mean, even my daughters. Don't get me wrong, my daughters are awesome, and they will go back and reread old books and stuff like that. Or
I can vouch that his daughters are awesome. That is not fatherly bragging. It is.
Yes.
It is an objective fact that he has awesome daughters.
Yes, my 15-year-old, she is currently like going through and reading the old Young Justice comics because we watched the Young Justice cartoon, and I was telling them that it's different. She went back and started reading it. Now my 11-year-old daughter is going back and rereading them and stuff. They love this stuff, but most kids nowadays don't have the patience to go back and read, and we've discussed that before. So I think one of the big things that we have to do, primarily with Marvel right now, is, like you said, we have to have a kid-friendly book in a way to introduce all of these things. So that's something that I also focused on, is I think so did you. Mm-hmm. So,
because Marvel, they do ratings.
Yeah.
But the ratings are nonsense.
Yeah,
There's T plus, parental advisory, and I can't tell the difference.
No.
I can tell the difference between a PG movie and a PG-13 movie and an R movie. It's obvious.
The R-rated's the better. I mean, yeah, that's what we're going with. Yeah.
There are steps and there are rules and there are and you know as a parent or just as a reader where you're going. Comics they make no sense what the ratings are. So I delineated. I just had 3. I have all ages, T, or mature.
Yeah.
And all ages doesn't mean a kid book. All ages literally means all ages.
It
just means it's like we talked these cartoons. People love these cartoons. Kids love the cartoons. Adults love the cartoons. Batman the animated series.
Yeah.
The X-Men animated series. Like everyone, literally all ages watch these. They weren't just kiddified, silly things. There's no reason comics can't be the same way.
Agreed.
They were for decades.
Yeah.
They were written for kids. They got a little more mature in subject matter and, storytelling and art, and they became more sophisticated, but they were still open to kids.
Yeah.
They've really lost that recently.
Yeah.
It's hard when a parent comes into my shop and asks, "Oh, what's a good book?" I'm like, if you're not worried about violence, that one's okay. You don't know what you can recommend to people. So,
excuse me, Lord.
So
okay.
I want a nice mixture.
Yeah.
Most books I would call T-rated, 12 and up, 13 and up. That's where we are. All the movies are PG-13. That's where I want to be. But you need to have some books that are all ages and some books that are mature for the the adult connoisseur.
Yeah.
So, hey, I am CEO. I'll start this time.
Okay.
Because
cool.
We're going to go Marvel Universe. I am CEO Jordan Lowe. I call this meeting to order, and here's what's happening.
All right.
And I basically stole my plans from the guy from DC. So I have the same sort of setup because I think it works. I think it's what the comic industry needs. So just like I had a Justice League book, I have an Avengers book.
Yeah.
It is all ages. This is the flagship book. You want the most possible eyeballs on your flagship book.
Yeah.
I throw in the marquee names, the heavy hitters. I have the guys you know from the movie. But I also have a nice rotating cast. I want people like Ant-Man, the Wasp, Vision, Hawkeye. Those guys, in my world, they don't have their own books.
Yeah.
Because I think they work best together. Hercules, Black Knight, all these guys, they became fan favorites by interacting with each other.
Yeah.
They might get a miniseries here and there if they're lucky, but I give them, these are the Avengers. This is the big team, the heavy hitters, and I say it's high stakes action. It is the best creative teams. This is the book you want to sell 1 million copies of.
Yep.
Then we also have the Trinity. DC has a Trinity. I think Marvel has a Trinity now. Captain America, the Invincible Iron Man, and the Mighty Thor. Those are the 3 Avengers that need their own solo books. They have the biggest rogues gallery, the most supporting cast. So these are where the world's blowing up in the Avengers. These are the other moments when they're off on their own solo stuff. And I think what the movies have done really well, that the comics should strive for, each movie has a distinct feel to it. It's a different genre based on what characters they fit in. So Captain America, I make it a spy story. It's globe hopping, it's political intrigue, it's ground level spy stuff.
Yeah.
Iron Man, he's a futurist. It's science fiction, it's technology, it's that next level technology stuff.
Yeah.
Thor is epic fantasy. It is swords and sorcery and orcs and dwarves, and it's the scale.
We want him going
scale.
to Jotunheim and fighting the
Exactly,
giants.
of all the 9 realms.
Yes.
So yeah, those 3, where the Avengers is superhero fun, those 3 are different genres, solo books you can only get there. I give Captain Marvel her own book. She's evolved recently into a very popular character. She's always been one of the most powerful characters, Carol Danvers. So she's got the resume to back it up. She's always been a team player, but they've tried to make her a stronger solo character. So I would continue that. Mm-hmm. The Hulk definitely needs his own book, but he's gotten a little convoluted lately. His whole supporting cast, they're all Hulks. They all have powers. They all have, there's too many Hulks running around.
Yeah.
So I depower the whole cast. You focus down onto that man versus monster thing that really makes the book work. And to me, I focus on the first Avengers movie, the best scene in it for the Hulk. The Hulk stole the show. Everyone loved the Hulk in that first movie.
Oh, yeah.
But my favorite moment is when the Black Widow just escapes getting chased down those, and she is sitting there shaking and terrified.
Yeah.
And Black Widow is one of the most ice-cold killers. The nothing rattles Black Widow, but the Hulk scared the bejesus out of her. And that's what you should focus. Like, this is a monster.
Yeah.
This, I hesitate to call it a horror book, but this is a monster. He's not saving puppies out of trees. This is something you don't want unleashed on the world. So
exactly.
I throw it. I almost call it a horror book because it's a monster on the loose.
Yeah.
And it's a man battling his own soul. That's what I want out of Hulk. Anyway, I give 2 Spider-Man books. We have Amazing Spider-Man and Web of Spider-Man. Just like all the other books we talked about last episode, one's tight on continuity, one is loose with continuity. You can have all the guest stars in the other one. You have Spider-Woman, Spider-Man 2099, Miles Morales. They pop up in Web of Spider-Man while Peter gets his own solo book. Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
I don't care who has the movie rights. We're making a Fantastic Four book.
Yeah.
It is rated A for all ages. It is, you take a cue from Wade and Ringo, who did that, the tournament. They're not superheroes. They are explorers.
They're family.
They're scientists. They're a family. So it's them taking to the stars. They're going into different dimensions, exploring the multiverse. Like, it is sci-fi.
Yeah.
It is fun, family sci-fi. It's like an old Disney movie, Journey to the Center of the Earth. They're one of the, they're just out doing crazy stuff. Fantastic Four. Guardians of the Galaxy, they've been a hit since the movie came out.
Oh, yeah.
Keep going. Somebody called it Star Wars, where every character is Han Solo.
Yeah.
You just keep having fun. X-Men, I get 2 X-Men books. Uncanny X-Men and the New Mutants. Along those same lines, Uncanny would be the core team, the people who travel the world, fighting for a world that hates and fears them. This is your core X-Men book. And ever since Grant Morrison and some of those other, they've introduced hundreds and hundreds of new characters. All the young kids, the people at the school, they've built up a whole supporting cast around the Jean Grey School. So I call that New Mutants. Uncanny, they're traveling the world. New Mutants is at home at the school.
Yeah.
So you have 2 different teams, and you can, things happen between them.
Of course.
Yeah. Whatever. Deadpool, there's got to be a Deadpool solo story.
Yes.
Although I don't want it as cartoonish as has been recently.
Yeah.
I want it grounded. I want darkness. I read a review of the movie that called it, it was a good movie, but there was some incongruous backstory that was all dark and violent. It's like, no, that is what makes Deadpool.
Yeah.
That horror of his terrible cancer diagnosis, torture. You don't have to dwell on that, but there has to be a dark streak. There has to be something running through that gives him a backbone to hang all that silly, cartoony, Bugs Bunny stuff on. Anyway, Ms. Marvel, the polar opposite of Deadpool. I think, for me, Ms. Marvel's probably the best new character Marvel's come out with in a decade, at least. She has really clicked with the fans, has a ton of potential. She is this generation's Peter Parker. She's the young, inexperienced. I think she's got the world ahead of her. And written by a very authentic, it's a story about a young Muslim woman, written by young Muslim women. So it clicked onto something that is really authentic. Keep going. Go. Doctor Strange. He's got a movie coming up. Got to have a Doctor Strange book. Yeah. And I think he's been on the sidelines too long. He lost the Sorcerer Supreme. Like, he needs to reestablish himself.
He is the Sorcerer Supreme again, though, now, I guess.
Fairly recently, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, wait a minute. When Brother Voodoo died, because he was the Sorcerer Supreme. Okay, we're going off subject, but when he died, I believe it reverted back to Doc Strange.
Is that how...
It was during the whole. It was when they started doing the Avengers, New Avengers, Uncanny Avengers, Amazing Avengers. I don't know. They just kept going. The Mighty Avengers.
And the Illuminati and the not Convergence, but whatever.
Yeah, it just kept going. But anyway.
So there's a movie coming out. Doctor Strange needs to put his footprint in the Marvel universe.
Yes.
So the same with Black Panther. He has a movie coming up.
Oh yeah.
He needs to be a marquee character.
Black Panther is the Batman of the freaking Marvel universe, and why they. Christopher Priest, you rule, man. You wrote the best Black Panther.
So he needs to be a top tier A-list character.
Yeah,
they haven't been able to do that here very much recently. I give Squirrel Girl. I keep going with her. That book is working. It's got a dedicated audience. It's a nice antidote to some of the dark, dreary superheroics. It's bright and funny, and it's awesome. So go Squirrel Girl.
Woo!
I do a book called New Warriors. So this is my all ages book.
Speedball.
Of young heroes. And I cast the Runaways as the main stars.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Because people really like that concept.
Yeah.
So it's the Runaways, but like they introduced Cloak and Dagger. Like they would interact with a lot of these characters. So this is what I would Nova, Power Pack, Miles Morales, Ms. Marvel. Like, there's a lot of new young characters in the Marvel universe, and this would be their book to when the grown-ups are off doing something, saving the world from Skrulls or whatever. Like, the kids are dealing with some other threat that only the kids can really care about.
Red Skull. Yeah. Oh wait, wait a minute.
So that's my New Warriors book.
Yeah, right.
And you can bring in some of the older New Warriors if they've aged some of these characters. They can be mentors or whatever.
Yeah.
But this is the kid friendly book.
Justice and Firestar.
Yes. The next book, Infinity Watch.
Oh, going old school 90s,
I'm
right?
a child of the 90s.
There you go.
But since Thanos has been in the movies, they've been throwing in Thanos in every book he could be in.
Yeah.
And Thanos doesn't need to fight all these. He doesn't need to fight Luke Cage. So I spotlight. I say the Silver Surfer is the star of this book, and then it's him getting into adventures, bringing Adam Warlock, bringing in any of the cosmic characters, even Time of Guardians of the Galaxy, whatever.
Mantis and everything. Yeah.
Yeah. So these are the cosmic level threats. So have a book where Thanos really fits into.
Yeah. Yeah.
So have he's the main target or the main mission or whatever. So I give an Infinity Watch.
Yeah.
My last one in the Marvel U, Spider-Gwen is huge right now.
Yeah.
The sales are big. The cosplay culture loves her. But they're trying to simplify the Marvel Universe. And she's in a different world. She's not in the 616.
There is no 616.
After the Secret War. Okay. So she's still off on her own. They did the Spider-Verse. She hops from different world to world. So they're still like mixed up with this multiverse stuff. So it's hard for me to put her. She has to have a book because she's so popular.
Yeah.
And I want to sell books.
And I want to sell.
But it's hard. I can't put her in the Marvel universe. It just undoes too many things. Having Gwen Stacy in there, Peter Parker have to deal with it. So my book is called What If, featuring Spider-Gwen. There needs to be a monthly What If book.
Yeah.
There should be. People love What If.
Oh, I love the What If series.
So I give Gwen her own feature story in every issue. She's the main character. And then there's a backup story. Every issue is a What If.
Yeah.
It's a short story. You can have rotating characters, rotating creators. And it's the out of continuity, out of the multiverse.
It might be fun also, and Rich me throw out there, make it one of those, remember Marvel and DC both used to do those 100-page giants?
Oh, yeah.
Do it like quarterly. If you want to do an entire massive story arcs with them that way. That would be fun.
Oh, yeah.
Now I want to work for you. Can I come work for you?
We are currently hiring. All right, Marvel Max. These are the mature books. And I said too many of the Marvel Max that weren't good, they just took Marvel characters and let them curse and have nudity.
Yeah.
Like, they didn't quite work very well. So these are my books. It's not just about adding R-rated stuff. It's about having more mature themes and more complex stories with these characters.
Yeah.
So my number one guy is Punisher. He had probably the longest running, most
It was fantastic.
critically acclaimed Max series.
Yeah.
My only problem with it is they ignored all the superheroes. They tried to make it realistic.
Yeah. Yeah.
So my Max ties in with other heroes. Like, he has to deal with Daredevil and all these other
Now,
things.
would you want to bring somebody like Garth Ennis back to it?
I would. You're hired, Mr. Ennis.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, I want those gritty, R-rated stories, but he lives in a world with superheroes. You
Yeah.
can't ignore them.
Yeah.
So I love when Frank has to deal with he hates costume characters.
I know.
And they're always such a good stories when he has to deal with them.
It'd be kind of cool to even show the heroes, but have him intentionally avoiding them on a regular basis. That would be just awesome.
So not every issue has to be a team up or
Yeah.
whatever, but they exist. It's Punisher Max, all the best parts of that, but he's in the Marvel universe.
Yeah.
The next one would be Black Widow. I give her own Max title.
She had a Max title, didn't she?
I believe so.
But it wasn't her. It was the second
It was
Black
the
Widow.
blonde-
Elena. Yelena or something like that. Yeah, she was cool though. I liked it.
So this will be my espionage book, like a good spy novel.
Yeah.
You throw in the Shield, Hawkeye, Mockingbird. This would be, as again, it doesn't have to be R-rated, but it's just more mature themes and things of like any good spy story. I give Wolverine his own Max book.
Yeah.
I call these are when he's not in costume, when he's not with the X-Men. These are his solo adventures. I love that series from the early 2000s. I'm blanking on who wrote it. Was it Greg Rucka?
Yeah.
Where he was just it was just him in a biker bar, just like him just out in the world and just getting into scrapes and stuff. Yeah, so
there's an issue with him against the Punisher or whatever. And there's all the gay
Right.
jokes with Punisher with the workout magazines. I about lost it. Those were beautiful. That was funny as hell.
So yeah, that's my Wolverine Max. My next book I call Hell's Kitchen.
Oh, nice.
This is the Netflix book. All the street level characters. Daredevil, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, Jessica Jones. These are the characters that are big on Netflix right now.
Yep.
I don't know that they need their own series, all of them. I don't know if they need Heroes for Hire as a book. And so this is Hell's Kitchen. What's going on in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
So they're all, night nurse, whoever's involved in this, that's their spotlight book.
Yeah.
And my last book, I got this idea because they're supposedly a couple months ago we're going to launch a new Blade book, but starting Blade's daughter.
Yeah, and it got postponed or
It
something.
got postponed. They said the honchos of the studio wanted to have a closer look at it because this might be the next some property they want to do on film. So they wanted the comic people to get it right, the first time.
Yeah, of course.
So I don't, as Blade's daughter, that's kind of a cool idea, I guess. So I have a book. Again, going back to the 90s. You remember the Midnight Suns?
Yes.
I bring you the Midnight Daughters.
Nice.
These are female horror, and throw in Scarlet Witch, Elsa Bloodstone, Hellcat, Magic from the X-Men.
Oh yeah.
Clea, Doctor Strange's lady love, and you can get mixed. It doesn't have to all. It's not A-Force. It doesn't have to be all female.
Yeah.
Ghost Rider. There might even be a female version of Ghost Rider. I'm sure there
stop.
was at some point. Everybody's a lady.
Good lord.
So yeah, Midnight Daughters. It's a female-centric horror story.
Cool. Because what sells horror better than slashing blood and hot chicks running around? Yep. There we go.
There we are. So
Nice.
that is my Marvel universe when
Nice.
I'm in charge.
That's a nice Marvel universe. I think you were copying off me when I wrote these down, though.
Oh no.
You punk. All right.
So you tell us your version, KJ.
Okay. First of all, one of the big things is, and I know everybody bitches and moans about it, but the whole let's change everybody up. Let's make Thor a girl and Falcon is Captain America. And I love the Falcon. The Falcon was a cool character. He was never a psychic. He was a partner. It didn't feel right for him to take Cap's place, I guess. To me, there was a bunch of other options they could have done if they wanted to throw the race card out there and whatever. But, so basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually keep the mess-ups that they've done, in my opinion,
Okay.
but adjust them to make them work.
Okay.
Okay. First off, Amazing Spider-Man. I'm going to keep Amazing Spider-Man family, all ages and everything like that. However, I'm starting it off with him waking up in Vegas with Mary Jane, and they've been married.
Oh, God bless you, sir.
Yes,
God bless
bringing
you.
the power couple back.
Mary Jane is one of my favorite characters in comics.
Yeah, and they ruin her on a regular basis. I hate that, but put Peter and Mary back together, damn it. That's rule number one. Put them back together and make them being married and just having a good time together. Make it fun. All right, next one. And by the way, these are all in alphabetical order, of course. All right. I would have an Avengers be my headliner, of course, much like you said. There's like 3 headliners to me. There's Amazing Spider-Man, Avengers, and X-Men.
There you go.
So, and the Avengers team, here's the thing. The team would be all the characters, like you said, that couldn't basically hold their own series or whatever, but they would have core member Captain America. However, Steve Rogers would be in charge, but Captain America would not be Sam Wilson's Captain America. It would be Patriot from the Young Avengers. Because it makes sense for him to step up to become the new Captain America.
He's kind of been by the wayside here recently.
Yeah, exactly.
We haven't given him any spotlight.
And hey, you want to throw the damn race card? Fine. He's black. And he is one of the coolest characters. He and Hawkeye and Stratus were my 3 favorite characters in the Young Avengers. So put them, out there. So he would become the new Captain America. But I'd also have Steve Rogers find some of that infinity formula that was working on Fury.
Yeah.
Start reducing his age back down. We need Steve Rogers back in fighting shape. But I'd be Captain America, Hercules, because I love Hercules. Black Knight, I love Black Knight. Ant-Man, Wasp, Photon, Vision, and She-Hulk. That would be my team. It's kind of just an eclectic little group there, but it would be a cool group. And the conversation would be awesome. Anyway, it would be all ages. Black Panther would be your PG-13 or whatever, but Black Panther, you need to bring Black Panther back to coolness. I love Black Panther. Christopher Priest did the best Black Panther storyline. I don't care what anybody says. He was awesome.
I think he's going to steal the show in Civil War.
I hope so.
I think he's going to win some people over.
I hope so. Next would be Captain America. Captain America would be Steve Rogers and Patriot together.
Okay.
Okay.
Like those old 70s stories with Steve and Sam. All right.
Yeah, exactly. They would be partners, and it basically would be almost like a trial by fire thing with the 2 of them there. But yeah, it'd be great. Captain Marvel. Carol Danvers is a badass character. Push her, but I would keep her more in the space realm than I would on Earth. Put her out there because they're really wanting to push the whole galactic stuff, like you said earlier. So put her as a primary character in the Galactic Force. I would have Daredevil, Deadpool, and Doctor Strange all be really dark. It would be almost the R-rated versions. Daredevil would continue to work on the streets. Deadpool
In the sheets.
In the sheets. Work with the mouth. And never mind. Okay. But yes, exactly. It would be the wisecracking fun. But it would be violent as hell. Doc Strange, let's go with the dark mysticism.
I forgot to mention that with Deadpool. I think that works so well in the movie. The romance.
Yes.
The romance.
Yes, I loved it.
It's a romantic movie.
And
he's a romantic character.
He's married in the comics.
That's my favorite comic for him and Siren and Vanessa. That's an important key to his character.
Oh, yeah.
They've married him off here in this.
But I liked
book.
his wife.
So
She's a demon lord who finds him sexy as hell.
I'm sure he has a lot of new female fans too. So you need that angle of he's a romantic character. He loves the ladies.
Exactly, and he's in love with Death. Well, no, that's Thanos, but Death loves Deadpool. So it's a nice little love triangle there if you want to go with it. The Doc Strange would have to be really dark. I want the 1960s, black magic, battling Dormammu and all of them. And I love the fact that the original intros to Doc Strange was the master of the black arts.
Yeah.
And then that got switched really quick when parents flipped their shit. But anyway, so that's what I would do with him. Fantastic Four. They're a family. They're doing stuff as a family. I love that idea. Like you said, Mark Waid's run was freaking beautiful. Go with that. Do that. Guardians of the Galaxy. I would change the team up just a little bit.
Okay.
And put them out there with Captain Marvel. I would have like Star-Lord, Kitty Pryde, because I do like Kitty and Star-Lord together. She has a thing for Peter. I'm just going to stop right there because
Peter Rasputin,
Pete Wisdom, Peter Quill. She's got a thing for Peter. So it's Star-Lord, Kitty Pryde, Rocket Raccoon, Groot, Gamora, Drax, and Moondragon, because we don't see enough Moondragon. They'd be out there, and it would be kind of a teen book, but they'd be out there doing the Guardian of the Galaxies. I do an Incredible Hulk book. I really like the Bruce Jones run. When you talked about the horror and stuff like that, the first couple story arcs of his just was on that verge of being...
Hulk barely appeared in the...
and when he did, it was half the time off panel, you know, and you just knew something bad was happening. I love that idea. The Iron Man, I'd keep him in continuity, but I'd make him all ages. Saying that, every once in a while, we'd just slip in a T plus rating there, so he could drink himself some whiskey and sleep with someone, I guess. I don't know. I would do a Marvel Knights, which would be street-based heroes like Cloak and Dagger and Iron Fist.
Yeah.
That would be really fun to me, just do that street level, but make it so that it's a bit R-rated, but at the same time, anybody could get it and read it and enjoy it. I would do a New Mutants, which would be spotlights on standalone mutants stories. Screw the Inhumans. I'm sorry. I love the Inhumans as a side note. Some of my favorite ones are them as side notes.
Yes, we're looking at alphabetically. We've already gone past the eyes. I didn't see any Inhumans on your list.
No,
if we look back, my list didn't have Inhumans.
No, I'm sorry. Go back to the mutants, okay? I know. 20th Century Fox is taking our toys. Blah blah blah. Shut up. Just go and make us happy.
You can't make it happen. You can't make us love the Inhumans.
Exactly.
Sorry, Marvel.
Exactly. After that would be Power Pack. This is for the young ages, for all ages, but bring back the Power Pack. Power Pack, when I was a kid, I loved Power Pack. It was fun. Do a Rocket Raccoon and Groot like they're doing right now. Do the standalone stories with them for kids and for all ages, because everybody loves Rocket and Groot. My next one would be S.H.I.E.L.D. And I would focus on a S.H.I.E.L.D. team that would be kind of espionage. And it wouldn't be super dark, but it could be used as the world police, if you will.
Yeah.
As much as I'm against that. But still, I would put Maria Hill, Hawkeye, Black Widow, Mockingbird, Coulson, May, and Quake. Because I want to add those guys from the show because...
Fans of the show.
The show is still amazing now. You should watch. Okay. After that, though, the Earth still needs protecting, not just America. So we got SWORD. And SWORD is the space version. So they're guarding up there with the Guardians of the Galaxy and Captain Marvel. And we had to have Abigail Brand, Sidron, Mantis, Nova, the Herald Nova, not the Kid Nova or Dick Ryder, which I always found that funny as hell. But anyway, and then I'd have Quasar, Cammy, and Bug, because nobody uses Cammy and Bug anymore. I love those two. That'd be fun. Cammy, the little kid who's got a chip on her shoulder, and Bug, the giant bug.
Right.
So I'd do a Silver Surfer, but make it a little bit darker, and he's out there guarding the universe as well. So you can do the big Guardian storylines. Squirrel Girl, my daughters love Squirrel Girl, and they would rip my heart out if I said anything against that. So, honestly, I've never read a single issue of Squirrel Girl.
Oh, you've got to fix that.
I don't know. I'm like, it looks okay, but my daughters love it. So, ergo, I love it. So, anyway, keeping that around.
See, that's the thing. Fans don't always realize not every book is for you.
No.
Not every book should be for you.
No.
There are books for other people. Like, you can live and let live. Even if you don't like a book, there are other people out there who do.
Exactamundo. Okay, so Tangled Webs would be my next one. It would be all the, like you had said earlier, with the web of Spider-Man. Mine would be the same thing. It would be like standalone stories with Ultimate Spider-Man and Spider-Woman and Spider-Man 29. Although I think we should somehow send him back to 2099. I love Spider-Man 2099 by Peter David. I don't like him in the Marvel Universe. Anyway, okay, moving on. Thor.
There were some good stories. There were some good Tangled Webs back in the day.
Yeah,
the anthology. It was like Legends of the Dark Knight.
Yes, exactly.
There were some good stories.
I think Garth Ennis did it. The 1000 or something like that. It was really cool. Next one would be Thor. Look, if you want to keep her as Thor, that's fine. But somebody needs to train her. So bring in the Odin son to train her. If you want to start passing the torch to everybody else, that's fine. But don't just like, I've got the hammer, I can kick everybody's butt. No, that's not how it works. So that's what I do with that. My next one would be Uncanny Avengers. You want to do the Unity so bad, knock yourself out. I would have Sam Wilson as Cap. Let him continue being Cap until Patriot. I can never remember the kid's name, but Patriot, when he becomes old enough to actually assume the mantle, then there you go. I'd have Sam Wilson, Ms. Marvel, because we need her on the team, man. She's fun. She's a fun young character.
She's an Inhuman. We finally have an Inhuman.
I'm sorry. We put Rogue, Beast, Emma Frost, Crystal, and Quicksilver.
Nice.
Because that way you've got mutants, humans, Inhumans, everything right there. Now, quit your bitching and moaning. And then next would be Uncanny X-Men, and this is my team. I was really torn whether or not I should put Magneto on the team because Magneto is, quite possibly the greatest character ever created.
That's a whole other episode. We can talk about Magneto.
Yep. But here would be my team. Storm, Cannonball, Colossus, Nightcrawler, Psylocke, Gambit, Havoc, Polaris, and Magic.
All right.
Because I want that 80s and 90s Inferno and Fall of the Mutants type of feel, and most of those characters had a major role to play in those. So I smashed them all together and said, this is going to be my happy days.
That's a nice mix of old and new, classic and...
Yep. And my final one, Wolverine. And you know what? Wolverine died. As much as I hate it, Wolverine's dead. So we leave him dead. Let X-23 continue to be Wolverine. That would be my big thing right there. And she would be constantly crossing over into the X-Men universe, X-Men title. Just as like, hey, I stopped by for a beer. And they're like, you're too young. And she's like, but
I'm Wolverine.
Exactly.
And a cigar, too.
Okay, and then this is my final bit. Max titles.
Max.
Right. Okay. All right, I'm going to separate these up just a little bit. But I would have a Nick Fury Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., and I want the old Steranko look of Nick Fury. I don't want Sam Jackson Nick Fury. Sorry, Sam Jackson Nick Fury, or Ultimate Nick Fury, whatever you want to call him. My Nick Fury will always be the old white dude chomping on a cigar.
You got a lot of S.H.I.E.L.D. You got S.H.I.E.L.D., Sword, Nick Fury.
Yeah. I love the whole spy and
they do sort of permeate the Marvel universe. They kind of hold things together. They can tie in with any other character.
Exactly.
They're sort of the glue of the Marvel universe.
Yeah, and to do a Nick Fury Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., I would almost make it so that basically he made a deal with Maria Hill that he is their black ops. He goes in and takes care of the really nasty stuff that needs to be taken care of. My next one would be Old Man Logan. If he's in the Marvel Universe, then you know what? Let him be Old Man Logan. Put him out there wandering the wastelands or whatever and just jacking people up left and right.
Is this current continuity or are we in the future?
It would be current continuity because that's the way he is now. I like to try and keep their world as messed up as it is and try and reshape it into something good. The Punisher, I agree with you. Let's put the Punisher back to the coolness that he was. And occasionally having to kick Daredevil in the kneecap to get away. Stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
And then my final two is kind of going off the rails from what I have done so far with keeping everything kind of united. I miss Tomb of Dracula. Bring back Tomb of Dracula as standalone horror stories with Dracula at the center of all this craziness.
Who would win in a fight, Dracula or Magneto?
Oh, see, that would never happen. They would team up. Drac would actually bite Magneto, turn him into a vampire. So there we go. But Dracula would be at the center of it. And then...
and we're talking old school... We're not talking ponytail.
Not white-haired ponytail.
Like super suit Dracula.
Elf.
Yeah.
Dracula. I don't know what the hell that was about.
Talking cape. We're talking
the
goatee.
Gene Colan. The
widow's
suit.
peak hair.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, I love Dracula. Okay, so Drac's the main guy in that. He could even be the villain, and they could have people chasing him. But my other one would be called, and much like you, from the whole Midnight Suns, there were one of the big storylines in that was the Darkhold, was the magic book or whatever. Somebody has stolen the Darkhold, and it's been separated throughout the Marvel Universe. Mm-hmm. So a team led by Elsa Bloodstone, because I am a huge fan of Elsa Bloodstone, just like I'm assuming anybody who's read Elsa Bloodstone likes her. It would be Elsa Bloodstone, Blade, Hannibal King, Clea, Jubilee, because she's a vampire now, Brother Voodoo, and Moon Knight. Because
I forgot about Moon Knight.
Yeah, Moon Knight would be one crazy person on the team.
He's the wild card.
Exactly. But I want Jubilee on that team because Jubilee would be awesome in there. She's a vampire now, so... wait, I rephrase that. I do not know where she's at right now in the current Marvel state of universe.
She's in limbo right now.
Yeah, it's bullshit. She should be out there. Anyway, so that would be my Marvel takeover and trying to fix what they have screwed up. I am probably completely wrong, but I don't care. I'm CEO. KJ. So there you go.
And you're all fired.
Exactly. I've got my superhero
If you
fights.
don't like it, you're all out of here.
I got my superhero stuff. I got my shield stuff. And I got my galactic stuff. That's Marvel. Now go with that. And God bless. Good night. Or something. I'm sorry. Odin bless. But.
Yeah, I think that's a nice mix. And I think that's the important thing is a mix of recognizable characters that everyone knows. With the new characters, you need new blood. With different genres to appeal to different people. With ties to movies that people are familiar with, but not beholden to all the plot lines of the movies and TV shows. So it's a hard mix. It was hard narrowing the 25 books seems like a lot of books.
Yeah, it was difficult.
But there's things we had to cut out and things that were some hard choices to be made.
Now the one thing I'm going to throw out here also. No book gets canceled before issue 18. You try to make a fan base instead of doing, let's just say, Black Knight, because heaven forbid we do one issue and with the day the second issue comes out, they're like, oh, we're canceling it because the sales weren't there.
So you show the fans and the creators you have faith.
Exactly.
If they have faith in you, you have faith in them.
Exactly.
That's a good mantra.
And I hire Warren Ellis and Peter David and Mark Waid and Roger Stern to come in and start all the titles. Those are my writers. Those are my team right there.
Brain trust.
Exactly. Those are my favorites. So, yeah, that would be how I started off.
Well, KJ, I think we've fixed the world.
Oh, God, I hope so.
I think we've done it.
Well, we can only hope. We can cross our fingers and pray to the Zeus and the Odins that Marvel or DC is listening.
So yeah, it's taken us 2 supersized episodes of the show, way longer than we thought it would.
Yeah.
But hey, when we have to set the world right, you can't put a timetable. But hey, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope this made sense, and you can maybe think about how you'd fix your own little corner of the universe. And demand more from your comic companies. Write in and tell them you want Jordan and KJ to fix everything.
Yeah, fix it. All right. Yes, next time we'll be discussing Jim and the Holograms and how that was a stupid comment. But that's okay.
I'm sorry.
That's all right.
But hey, thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you on the next episode.
Cheers.